So I've had a couple questions about how I chalk kettlebells because they come out real white. People ask if I use water, and I don't. I do it the dry chalk way. I watched a couple of pros do it, so I figured I'd slap a video together and kind of show you how I do it. So here. I've sanded off all the existing chalk. I used 100 grit sanding sponge first. Got all the chalk off, and then I went with 150 grit separate sponge, just quickly make it nice and smooth. And I always go with dust. I don't use the big chalk block. And you want to start really by giving it a nice light coat and really grinding it into the handle. It's important to get the whole kettlebell. Every part that doesn't have paint on it, you're going to want to have chalk on that portion. It's important for your jerk. It's important for having a clean that's going to stick and not slide on you. This is the part that most people skip, because it's a lot of work to get your base layer down. But this is where the difference between chalk sticking and chalk shooting off comes in. So as you can see, it doesn't look like a whole bunch is getting done right now, but I can assure you that it's getting a little bit tackier because I'm really grinding this chalk into all the crevices and all the scoring from the sanding sponge. This is what's going to help all the rest of that chalk stick to the bell. You can see we're starting to get some consistency here across, kind of a ghostly look to it. Good. Okay, so it's a little bit rough now, it's not as smooth, it's grippy, but there's no big clumps, there's no super shiny spot of the steel handle left. Everything's pretty much covered. So now we can start layering on a bit more chalk. Now, I'm pretty liberal with this. I don't really care about chalk spilling. You may want to put a plate underneath your bell just to make sure that it doesn't waste too much chalk, so you can kind of recoup some of it afterwards. See the bell starting to get a little whiter, a little more consistent. I just want you to see some of the textures. I'm going to move this closer. I want you to see the texture here. It's starting to get a little bit grainy, and that's okay. That's going to give us more surface to pile up this chalk onto. So as you can see, it's starting to get whiter and whiter, and we just kind of keep building and keep building. So it's nice and consistent. You want to get enough that when you're rubbing friction, seeing how it's not coming off. When you put on water first, that really starts to come off quick. And you'll start to see steel. And steel in soft hands, as most of us know, is just going to shred your hands to shit. So just continue doing it just like that. See, I've continued to layer this, and it takes probably several minutes. I usually chalk my bells for about 5 minutes each, give or take. By the time you scrape it off, and make sure you got a nice coating to start with. I mean, it's not, everybody's got their own level of consistency they like to go with. I just want to make sure that I'm not going to hit steel with 3 minutes left. So there you go, hot chalk kettlebell.